Hi everybody, it's Chris from the Evermore podcast on the Slide Roll Pass YouTube channel. Just a post-match review after a great point against West Ham 1-1. It was the one that most of us called in the Evermore podcast last time, but just taking a look at it, it was actually a really hard-earned draw in the end, given the fact that we had some real injury trouble going into the game. So just looking at the lineup as we started there, obviously we knew Trippier was out. Emil Kraft came in at right back, which I was very nervous about. And then one of the biggest bombs I think that dropped pre-match was saint-maximin pulling out, which was a real blow for us. He's supposed to be out for 2 or 3 weeks, and given the fact he's our talisman, he's our magician, he's the guy that gets us up the pitch, it was a real worry. And Jacob Murphy came in for him, which a lot of people were disappointed at, me included. I was really hoping to see, Bruno Guimaraes hopefully come into the starting lineup. Maybe Willock pushed a little bit further up the park. I know it was hard to argue that case, given the fact that the midfield had been superb. Joe Willock, John Joe, and Joe Litton. Obviously, it's really hard to break up a winning team, but it probably would have been a good thing to do. But as it turns out, I think Eddie Howe did have it quite right. We started the game really well disciplined, passed the ball well, moved it well. Chris Wood still looked a bit ropey, a bit slow in terms of his movement, getting in the box, making things happen. His touch still isn't quite there. I'm trying to give Wood the benefit of the doubt, but with every game that passes, he doesn't score. It becomes more and more obvious maybe that we should have signed a more mobile striker in the window. But looking at the game itself, obviously we were in possession. We were in the kind of ascendancy, just couldn't get the ball over the line, couldn't finish it. Willock looked great. He was buzzing around. Joe Litton was having another one of his superb midfield performances. A bit more on that later, and a bit more on that later in the week as well. John Joe looked steady away. We started to let West Ham a little bit back into the game. Antonio started a little bit busy. Bowen was getting on the ball a bit. And it was Jared Bowen that tested Dubravka earlier on. A good run through and a great save by Dubravka. He flicks onto the bar. It was pretty much all he had to do all day, but he did it really, really well. So Newcastle will probably feel a bit unlucky not to have gone in front. And then one of the biggest worries I had going into the game was obviously Emil Kraft at right back. He just makes a stupid, unnecessary challenge, really. And he gives away a free kick in a dangerous area. This is exactly the thing that I worry about with Kraft. I mean, I know the result was a positive one, so I don't want to be too negative. But when you've got players who just aren't really good enough, I know everyone's willing him to do well, and everyone's hoping he does a Joe Litton. But I think the truth of the matter is that Lightning won't really strike twice. And I don't think that Kraft's going to suddenly become a world-class right back or move to centre-half and be a world-class centre-half like Joe Litton has from striking in midfield. So we're going to have to accept the fact that maybe he just isn't good enough. And hopefully Manquillo might be back against Brentford, which I think will definitely add a bit more solidity to the back line. So Cresswell whips the ball in, real mess in the defence, really. I think Dan Burn and Cher had a good game. They've got a good partnership brewing there. They kept the cells out, and had constantly the cells getting back to the side. Burn was fantastic again today, and Cher looks very good, looks just like the Cher we saw under Rafa. But they got this wrong on the set piece, that they didn't pick up the run of Dawson. He had more or less a clear run on it. Header in the back of the net, 1-0. A bit disappointing, really. We look good for going ahead in the game. I think West Ham, just took obviously the easiest chance that come to them. They are a bit of a set piece team, and didn't look like scoring from open play really, except that chance that Bowen had. But yeah, terrible mark in there, and that's something that Newcastle, I'm sure Eddie Howe was gutted about, and had the lads in a half time having a go at them. But just as we were kind of pushing on, Joe Willock, makes a great run. I think Declan Rice, who there was a bit of a loving on Declan Rice pre-game, which there always seems to be. I don't think he's as good as people say. That's a bit controversial, but we're going to get stuck into that, Mark and I, later on next week, where we do a Joe Litton special just to talk about his conversion from striker to midfield, and we'll be saying and showing exactly why his stats are up there with Declan Rice, and he maybe doesn't get the plaudits. But Declan Rice makes a bit of a daft header, heads it straight up in the air. And to be fair, Joe Willock, I thought was superb today. I don't think there's going to be any Joe Willock debates from anybody. Excuse me. He was brilliant from minute 1 to minute 88 or wherever he came off in. But it's just an unbelievable finish, really. Real clever football brain, just the movement to get in between the West Ham players. He just kind of stabs a flicked foot out at it. And I think Joe Cole, to his credit, said it at half time, if Dennis Bergkamp puts that away, it's, we talk about it as an iconic goal for years to come, but it trickled over the line, hit the post over the line, and it was a great finish. And you could see the relief in Joe Willock's face and then all of our faces. He was absolutely buzzing to get the goal. And if this can kickstart Joe Willock, the goal machine again, then, we'll be in a really good position, because obviously without saint-maximin for 2 or 3 weeks, we'll lose that goal threat. Obviously, we know we haven't got Wilson, and Wood is still struggling. So it would be superb if Joe Willock can get himself back on the goal trail. So we went in half time, and a bit unlucky really to be level. I think we really should have had that game by the scruff of the neck, really took our chances, but but it just doesn't seem to be happening for us. So came out of second half. West Ham came out the best of the two sides. They were really at it. Whatever Moyes said to them, got them going at half time, and I think we struggled a bit to get into the game. But we defended really well. I think it was something I tweeted out, the first half as well, that the difference between an Eddie Howe Newcastle and a Steve Bruce Newcastle is the discipline and the ability to stay in the game. To control, to soak up the pressure, to keep the ball, to make key passes when you need to, take the pressure off your teammates, like Sir Ryan Fraser with his work rate, Joe Litton, Joe Willock, Big Dan Burn at the back. We would lose this game under Steve Bruce. We probably would have been 2-0 down in the first half when Bowen gets through, when Antonio has a couple of chances. So yeah, that's massive improvement, and even the mainstream media are starting to see it now as well, which is great. Not that the Newcastle fans didn't see it straight away and got lambasted for criticising Steve Bruce. But as the game goes on, obviously, there's a bit of back and forth. I don't think any keeper really makes a save in the second half, but there's just a lot of, a lot of kind of back and forth, a lot of moving the ball. Midfield was good. I think the battle between, Rice and Souček and then R3 in there was really good in the end. I thought Shelby started to fade a bit towards the back end of the game. He didn't do anything wrong, but didn't really do anything particularly right either. He was just kind of having a steady away, 5 or 6 out of 10 game. I would like to have seen Bruno come on a bit earlier, but obviously Eddie Howe has a plan. He kept Bruno later, came in again. He looked composed in the small little cameos that he makes. A lot of the fan base are gasping to see the lad. And, I think once he gets his chance to get in from the start, I don't think he'll be able to take him out the side because he just has that quality. But we hung on in the end for a 1-1 draw. I think it was a great result in retrospect. I think I said if we get 4 points out of Brentford and West Ham, that's an unbelievable set of results. That puts us 5 points clear the bottom three. We're unbeaten in 6. And I just think it's great to see even the mainstream media, even the friends of Steve Bruce, giving credit where it's due to Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall and the rest of the team for the work rate that they've put in with these players. It's just been phenomenal. Just talking about a couple of players to single them out for praise and maybe to single them out for a bit of criticism as well. I thought Dan Burn was superb again. I thought Matty Targett he's just such a good left back. I know Mark's a huge fan of his, obviously from the Villa team, the Villa days, but I really hope we sign this kid in the summer on a permanent because he just looks absolutely brilliant. He's the best left back we've had since Jose Enrique, in my opinion. Just brilliant. He just does the basics right. Great positional sense. And I think when he's up on the left side and Trippier's on the right, we've probably got two of the best fullbacks in the league. Burn and Cher look great as a partnership. Joe Willock, absolutely superb. If we can get him back to his best, if he gets the goals again and he's got the work rate and the ability to get us up the pitch, it's just a fantastic footballer to have on your side. Joe Litton, again, brilliant. Shelby, I think maybe the time might be coming to get Bruno in. I don't think Shelby was bad, but I'd like to see, Bruno, Joe Litton and Willock in there just to see what that three could do. I think it would be absolutely amazing, to be honest with you. The composure, the work rate, the quality would be incredible. Fraser, again, worked his arse off, absolutely superb. And then for the bad side, I thought Murphy was poor. He's busy, and he likes to get stuck in. He works hard, but he just hasn't got the quality. I think I said that pre-game that he's light years away from Saint-Maximin's quality. I know Max is a great player, but there was chances where his final ball was weak, his crossing was poor. Again, Chris Wood, just again looks like a plank of wood. He just doesn't seem to be able to keep up with the play. It's a real concern. I don't know what the answer is. I know one of the lads in the chat said get Gale on, but Gale's about 65 now. Don't even know if he can run anymore. So yeah, there's a real concern there. Can't get Callum Wilson back quick enough, in my opinion. And I thought Kraft again. Yeah, I just don't think he's good enough for this level. I know that obviously stupid challenge gives away the free kick. Other than that, he didn't do a great deal more wrong than that. But there was times again, his touch is poor. There's a bit at the end when he gets fouled and he's off the pitch rolling around. I don't know if he is genuinely hurt or he's trying to stop play, but he's off the pitch. He's not stopping any play at all. And just, overall, I feel more nervous when Emil Kraft's in a Newcastle United lineup than I do anybody else. I would have much rather have seen, maybe even 3 at the back, potentially with Murphy filling in at fullback, right fullback or right wing back, even with Targett at left wing back. I just don't think Kraft gives you that level of composure. I know Lascelles has a rick in him too, but yeah, Kraft's just not good enough for me. But at the minute, we're quite threadbare on right backs until Manquillo's back. But again, I don't want to focus too much on the negatives. I think it's a good point. West Ham, are chasing Champions League. Can't forget that. They absolutely annihilated us at the start of the season. So where we've come from there to now, we're much better. But I think they were poor and I think they were there for the taking. But we'll take a point. It's a good point. and we'll look forward to Brentford. So, yeah, thanks very much for listening, guys. If you like this kind of thing, remember to click like and subscribe. We're looking to push on for another set of subscribers to try and break that 200 mark. We're a bit away from it, but we'd love you to subscribe if you're new to the channel. We'll be back with some more Evermore this Wednesday. Me and Mark are also going to do a Joe Litton special, so keep an eye out for that. It'll be really interesting. Mark's had the Stack computer working overtime, and it's very, very interesting to look at it. And I think Newcastle fans will be amazed, and even non-Newcastle fans will be amazed with just what this lad's putting in. And also, we'll be back for some more pitch patter as well. So, yes, please like and subscribe. Thanks very much for watching the channel, and good point, and let's look forward to Brentford. Cheers, guys.